So it is one loop, two loops, goes right around,
Yeah, so you get your
tucks up through,
you do it again, right?
pull it tight,
So you're holding this in there, just bring it down.
pull on both ends, that's it.
Thank you.
For the muncher, make a single loop, this
Yeah.
crossing over top, where this crosses underneath, grab it here, fold it over. Where these two ropes come together, we attach our carabiner, that gives you your muncher.
Perfect.
I've now just made this thing one big mess. The camera's running, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. If I drop it, I pick it up by the back D-ring, I can straighten it out, and I can easily tell what's front and back, and I can get it all straightened out. So when we pick it up, always pick it up by the back D-ring. You can see very quickly I've been able to untangle it. Next thing I'm going to want to do, before I go any further with an inspection or anything like that, is stretch out these straps. You can see this is tightened up. Now these are your own personal harnesses. You're likely to leave them, but I'm going to start right from square one here. What we do to loosen these, if I were to pull on this, that's how this buckle is designed to lock up. So what I need to do is just fold that buckle back a little bit, pull on it, and that will come out real nice and easy. Leave a little bit of a tab so that you have something to pull onto. Do the same thing over on the other side. Straighten that out. No problem. Now the next question is, how do I tell back to front on these harnesses?
D-rings in the back.
D-rings in the back, sure it is. What else is an indicator?
Those A things?
You've got the letter A that points to an anchor point. You've got this strap that goes across the back. The other way I like to look at these A's, A for ass. Okay? A's are always going to go to the back. Once you've determined that, we can go ahead and we can kind of start with our inspection. Everything's stretched out, untangled. And we're always, again, going to start with this back D-ring. When you look at the D-ring, you're going to look for any deformation. This should be nice and round. Okay? There shouldn't be any egg shape to it. It shouldn't be stretched out or anything like that. You're going to look for any physical signs of damage, any big nicks in it, any physical signs of cracking, anything like that. You see any of that kind of damage, this harness is no good. Next thing you're going to look at is this plate at the back that holds the D-ring to the webbing. You're going to make sure it's in good shape. I mean, we've got a brand new harness here, it's 100%. If you see any cracking within the webs, the webbing could let go. And basically what would happen in the event of a fall, this D-ring is going to slide fairly rapidly up the harness. This will tend to move anyway in a fall, but it's slow and it's kind of deliberate. Where if this is broken or to slide quickly, it could give you shock blows through your shoulders, through your neck, through that area. Next thing you're going to look at is the webbing itself. With the webbing, we're going to look for major cuts and abrasions. We're going to look for discoloration. We're going to look for hardening of the webbing, that kind of thing. Big mushy spots. And you're just going to go through it and look at it, make sure it's in good shape. Any major signs of damage, we're going to replace it. We're going to look at the buckles. Make sure your buckles have all their parts. And some of them, I don't know if we have any here. Some of them you'll notice will actually have a little spring in them. Oh, there's one right here. See this buckle right here? It actually has a little spring in it. If that spring were to break and come off, sometimes they do, it's not going to walk and hold that webbing properly. Okay, so make sure it has all its parts. We're then going to look at the stitching. Make sure the stitching is all good. None of it's pulled out or frayed. And your stitching is all that holds the thing together. Your stitching's coming apart, your harness is going to come apart. That looks good. We move to the leg loops. We've got two different styles of leg loops here. We have one style that's a grommeted leg loop. And with these grommets, you want to make sure that they're all there. None of them are missing or loose. And you're also looking for distortion within a grommet. Since these are your own harnesses, it's not as critical. You kind of know the history behind it. But if you're using someone else's harness, look at it. And if you see a big dent in one corner of this grommet, it could be an indication that somebody took a fall on it, never reported it, and that dent is from the pin on the buckle. Okay. So those are the kind of things you're looking for. The other ones are a buckle, similar to what this chest belt is. So it's just a buckle that goes in on a slight angle. Okay. here. You've got two different pieces, just goes in on a slight angle, comes through, and locks. And then you can adjust it. So you got it set like that right there with the leg loop stuff. When we put this on, once we've done our inspection, it looks good. We can put it on just like a jacket. Okay. We know this is the front because I have the chest strap across it, I've got my D-ring to the back, the letter A is on my back. And one of the best ways to do this, we're going to adjust this to fit ourselves, is to do up your leg loops first. So do up my leg loop first. If you look at this, particularly from the back, you can see my leg loop is really going right around my thigh. Okay? If I tighten my shoulder straps up first, this point right here is going to come up high. Okay? I bring my leg loop through, and if I were to tighten it up, and once this is up, you can see how this is coming up further through the middle of my pelvis, up through my crotch. So if I do fall on it, a lot of that load is, instead of being dispersed over my femurs and through my thighs, it's actually going right into your pelvis, right into your groin, okay? Which can have some obvious setbacks to it, exactly. So we'll tighten up the leg loops first. And you want these fairly snug. You don't want your leg loops hanging down around your knees. Any additional slack within the harness is going to give you a shock load at the end of a fall. Okay. Same thing around this side. Snug that up. Tuck your ends away. There's always keepers for the ends. Tuck them away. Now you can see I got a ton of extra slack here. I want to tighten that up. So again, just fold the buckle back a little bit and pull. Okay. Again, reasonably snug. Okay. And go ahead and do up my chest strap. You want that snugged up. You just want to be able to hold your webbing kind of parallel over your shoulders. You don't want this too high, especially with these harnesses, okay, these Miller ones. This webbing, you probably noticed, is stretchy, right? What do you think is going to happen to this chest strap in a fall?
Right over your head.
Well, it's not going to necessarily go over your head. It's going to catch you in the chin, okay? Maybe across your throat. So kind of keep it at the nipple line and maybe even just a little bit below it. Because when you do take a fall, that's coming up. You can even see me pulling on it, that's coming up. I have seen hit guys right across the throat. So what about that position? Whereabouts is this D-ring sitting on me?
Middle of your back.
Okay, it should be right between your shoulder blades. That actually feels like it might even be a little high. Maybe at its uppermost point, sort of right between your shoulder blades, somewhere within that range. And you don't want it too low. It's what's going to happen to you if you have a fall. I see guys sitting down about where the strap is. What would happen to you in a fall? You're going to end up like this. Okay. Some of you have a harness that has a front D-ring. Okay. Those front D-rings are only designed for using a ladder safety device. You guys know what I mean? You have a track that runs up the center of a ladder. It has a camming device that goes into the ladder. It will only go up. It won't come back down, so if you slip and fall. That will attach there, so it's right in front of you as you're climbing the ladder. If you fall, that's about as far as you're going to go. If we put our fall protection on there, what's going to happen to us when we fall? It's going to take us up. We're going to fall backwards. I've even seen in some testing guys flip right over upside down. Front attachment point. So we always want our fall protection to our back. Fall restriction, to prevent us from going to an edge, that kind of thing, that could be put on the front. That's not really a problem because you're not going to fall on it. Just like a dog on a leash, right? It's just to prevent you from getting there.
There's an ice or that make it. already. I didn't know you guys were. Of course, I had to pick the coveralls that were too small.
Yeah.
Makes it look slim.
Another pair of my